Peace. Happy now. Hope y'all staying in the moment, you know what I'm saying? Not too far in the past, not too far in the future. Right now, you know what I'm saying? Keeping that stress off you. You know, quick, I ain't gonna say quick video, but you know, coming straight from the intuitive thoughts and heart and, you know, just all me, you know, all source, just from the ancient knowledge of my soul to the omnipresence of source being within, and the knowledge I get from that, and intuition I get from strengthening my chakras and my third eye. But anyway, you know, to keep things, you know, relevant, and just because I was sitting back thinking about the whole situation, but I thought about the situation. I think it's a project or Operation Northwood, and it was an operation that was supposed to make it seem like a terror attack was caused by some Cubans in America, you know, back when I think Fidel Castro first got into office. And this was while JFK was in office in America, you know. But this was an actual operation that was tried to, you know, that they tried to carry out within the American government. So basically like an inside job to give an excuse to go, you know, kill up the Cubans and try to take over Cuba or whatever, you know, the case may be. And with things of that nature already that done happened, you know, proven in history, or messed up things like when they were fighting against Japan and for the Pearl Harbor situation, so they just basically made all Oriental Japan, you know, matter of fact, sorry for using that word because I heard it's so offensive to people, but all Japan people, all people of Chinese descent, just all people of that descent, Asian, you know what I'm saying, people, like put them in little camps, you know what I'm saying, concentration camps, like to I guess to make sure, to be safe, let's put them in camp, you know, and a lot of them were citizens, you know, paid houses, everything, you know what I'm saying, citizens. But with things of that nature, and I hear about the Orlando shooting, and I don't watch the news, and so that's why I start off this video with saying, like, you know, it's a lot of just intuitive, you know, thoughts and my analyzation of the situation, you know, with the knowledge I have. But when I heard and saw about it, I'm like, man, all right, first thing, they put it on blast. All right, he killed like 49 people. They're trying to put it on blast that, oh man, this is the greatest massacre ever, you know what I'm saying? Which you shouldn't be even bragging on that, because matter of fact, like people, which I mean, yeah, you know, people just trying to make truth out of things, and you should, because like I saw something about my city, like in Opelousas, where it was like 300 blacks killed, you know what I'm saying? You know, like over voting, you know what I'm saying? Like basically they were getting their rights to vote or something like that. And I gotta look deep into it, but you know, something that happened in my hometown of Opelousas in Louisiana, you know what I'm saying, where it was like 300, you know, people murdered, and you know, and situations of that nature that happened already, you know, massacres, and how they try to place the significance on this one situation, like, oh, look at this, worst thing since, you know, 9/11, or the worst massacre, this and that. All right, then two. And then the guy who shot everybody, you know, he says he's pledged ISIS before he, you know what I'm saying? You know, even though he had the type of jobs and background, like, or like the type of jobs like dealing with security. So I heard, you know, because it's all like he say, she say, you know, to keep it real honest, you know what I'm saying, until, you know, but I'm just going off of, you know, the vibes and what I feel from it, you know. But like he held the type of jobs where if he was dealing with that type of stuff or even close to it, he wouldn't be able to hold those jobs, or, you know, be able to hide that type of thing from the government if it was, you know, that serious, or, you know, if they was really looking at it like that. So with that being said, like oh, he's with ISIS. And then I looked at the third situation where it's like, oh, and it was in a gay club, it was in a bisexual club, so he killed nothing but, gay people and things of that nature. I'm like, oh man, it's just all add up to a little story, a little picture they trying to paint, And we all know who runs the media, the people who's trying to portray a certain message to you. And when I put all those things together, and then I also want to say kudos to a lot of people for being awoke, because I'm seeing people actually, instead of just tripping out, it's like, oh man, that seemed like some, like some cooked up stuff, like nobody accusing nobody of anything, but just, smell a little fishy. When I see scales and I smell fish, I'm gonna think it's, fish. But anyway, that whole situation just seemed like a cooked up, situation. And with the things that's going on, like with, just seeming like, people trying to move in on martial law or whatever. And sometimes, like, I like to be politically correct when I talk on these subjects, because I'm not telling no people to do no negative things or no revolt with guns or none of that nature, but I'm just speaking facts, you know what I'm saying? But you got the situation where it just seems like they're trying to take away citizens' guns and citizens' ownerships of guns, by creating these little mass murder situations, are kind of like, well, certain things, like how I brought up the Northwoods situation, where like certain little inner things of deception to create like a certain mind frame of, hating a certain crowd of people, you know what I'm saying? And it just seems like one of those situations where they're just trying to fool people into having hate for somebody, or being scared of somebody, a certain group of people who's not, in around us, really threaten us, but they, you got to create, that threat, in order for people to believe is really true, And, that's just, like I say, my analysis on the situation, from years of watching news and knowing stories that I just brought up, like Northwoods and what they did, around Pearl Harbor and things of that nature. It's just, 9/11 situations, with the building collapsing, There's a bunch of different things where it's like, seemed like it was, to create, hate towards certain people, you know what I'm saying? And it's all, touchy, like, touchy subjects where everybody, want to step over. But I mean, when we talking truth, you know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, if you get killed or anything of that nature over the truth, then where do you really, stay, or what, it's a freedom of speech, so, where do you really stand if you can't just speak on the truth also, But just looking at the little Orlando shooting situation, it's like, it's things of that nature that's gonna be, that's gonna be happening to try to create some type of uprise or uproar, kind of like what I said about like World War III, quote unquote, because I mean it's in the people's hands. It's not in the government's hands. It's in people actually. If people buy into the type of things like this type of shooting that they try to cook up, they're gonna try to do things to provoke fear, And when somebody fear, it starts all kind of, just foolishness for nothing, basically. And we trying to raise the vibration. We're not trying to have, none of that craziness and none of that, foolishness. And matter of fact, everything, when I say everything in that line of order, is something fishy about it. Because matter of fact, even with the thing with the gay community, And like I got respect for all people of all sexual orientation, all life, you know what I'm saying, of all forms, fashion, everything. You know what I'm saying? And to speak on that situation with it also being the gay club, like it's a gray area where, yeah, it's cool, you know what I'm saying, for, whoever to express love for each other if that's how you feel, you know what I'm saying, in your heart, if that's how you feel. But I also know that there is a type of agenda that, people in high places are trying to push on to, try to depopulate, you know, the globe and, to depopulate, people to keep to keep people, how can I say, in a controllable, amount, controllable, sizable amount, population wise. So they do that through many little subtle things, just like, like having this abortion clinic right here and, promoting, gay and bisexual thing. And like I say, much respect, I'm not, but just this is real and this is facts, But it's things of all that nature that, that come into full circle that if you really pay attention to ancient history, to just all the history and ancient knowledge and things that have been going on for years, if you just really pay attention to, everything and take heed to, the different messages, you could really see what's really, really going on. And that's what I'm just, trying to open people up to. Excuse me. And staying awoke, just staying aware. Know what's going on for real, and not just taking anything the news gonna feed you. Cause like say for instance, like I explain to people, if if I'm a big corporation owner or whatever, and I own CNN, ESPN, Delta Airlines, the NFL, this and that. If something going on with my airlines or something of that nature, you know what I'm saying, and I don't see CNN, I'm not gonna tell them to just report that right off. You know what I'm saying? If I don't, that's bad for business. I'm gonna be like, man, nah, wait, hold on, we haven't checked the airplanes just yet, so we're gonna hold, Plus, that's my business, and I don't want to, just stop everything for nothing. We're going to hold off on that story, And then the reporter actually have to bite their tongue and not report that, because they're trying to, keep their job, slave to the job, and, not keeping it real with God, Which, in some cases, when we're in that certain mind frame, you can't blame. But it's situations like that where they like, all right, yeah, we're not gonna talk about that story. Let's talk about what happened to LeBron James and so the other night. We're gonna pump that up. So that could be the topic of discussion. But that's the way things go on. People at the top level, if they own everything, then they gonna put this in your food, have you watching this, controlling, every little situation. So just be aware, and don't start anything with, with any, what I'm saying. That's why I always, like I say, I keep it politically correct as much as possible when it comes to speaking on the subjects of guns and dealing with the government, because I'm not saying spark up no, revolution, none of that. I'm just saying be aware of what's going on with the martial law and gun situation, because it just is what it is. Facts is facts. You can't change history unless you lie about it, and try to change it. But peace. I'm out, y'all. Happy now. Stay in the moment and stay aware.